What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Johnny12809, also known as Project Johnny on YouTube. Oh, sorry, not on YouTube, on League of Legends. Sorry, I've been a little bit wobbly. Let's go check my notifications. Okay, it's cool. That's nice. Yes. So today is a special video. I'm going to be showing you the runes, masteries, um and items that I use for Sona, and today's going to be how to play Sona video. I'm going to show you the runes that I use, the masteries that I use. We're going to be editing the items that I use because we could finally edit our items on this client as of the update that was a few hours ago that finished. And I'm also going to show you her skins, her abilities, what her abilities do, and then we're going to go in game and I'm going to show you on the practice tool. After showing you guys on the practice tool, I'm going to go into a match playing as Sona support to show you how I play Sona. So before we get into this, I'm going to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Timmy. His YouTube channel is TJ Rules. He has over 3K subscribers. Let me just fix the window here so you guys can see that. He has over 3K subscribers and he has 2 channels. This his main YouTube channel right here, he discusses WWE content from WWE Monday Night Raw and WWE Tuesday SmackDown, and also WWE main event, which I believe are Wednesdays, and then of course all the events like pay-per-views and stuff. He reviews that, he gives his rants and stuff like that. His YouTube channel is TJ Rules. His secondary channel, which is his backup channel, I believe is right here, is TJ Reborn, and he has another link right here for my other channel, TJ Rules. For this channel, he does gaming content of many kinds of emulators and stuff like that, including WWE content again, but he does like Pokemon and WWE content. He does emulators like there's a lot of content that he has to offer that I can't even fully say, but definitely subscribe to this channel, which is TJ Reborn, and of course his main channel, TJ Rules. Without further ado, let's go ahead with this Sona content. Let's go back to here. So today I'm going to be showing you why I main Sona, why I love Sona, why she was the first one I got to Mastery 7, why I play her as my main support role, and just why I love her so much. So let's go. We're going to go into collection. We're going to go into Sona. Now I have 108,334 mastery points on Sona. I main her a lot, especially in ranked. I always go Sona and I always get an S or S plus. I haven't gotten anything lower with Sona ever since I got ever since I started trying to get my Mastery 7 on her. I have not lost a game with her, and I have not gone below an S. With that being said, Sona, Maven of the Strings, is an AP mage. She could go in the mid lane and support role. She mainly does AP damage. I've seen people try to go AD Sona, which it doesn't really work, but it's fun to play. She is mainly an AP mage and does ability power damage. Her mobility and her defense are quite low, so she is squishy, but given the right item, she can do well in lane and kind of tank a little bit if given the right cooldown and timing her healing abilities. Her damage is pretty hot. Her damage is pretty good. And what is this? Her crowd controls are right. Her her damage is really good. Her utilities are amazing. Her crowd control is honestly dependent on how good you are with her. But if you are good with her, you'll already know that her crowd control is really good. Her difficulty to learn is actually pretty easy. Her abilities are straightforward. We're not really going to go into the lore. If you guys want to go into the lore, go and look on your client and you could check out her lore. But we're actually going to go ahead and check out her skins. So she has her default skin. She has the Muse Sona, Pentakill Sona. We also have Silent Night Sona, which is available during Christmas. We have Guaykin Sona. I hope I'm saying the right. Gwain Sona. Yeah. We also have Arcade Sona. Then we have Sweetheart Sona for Valentine's Day, and then my personal favorite, which is the first skin I got as soon as I started maining her. Boom, DJ Sona. DJ Sona is an ultimate skin, and it's so good. There used to be an animation. I'm not sure why they didn't add the animation anymore. I don't know why they took it off. The animation was pretty cool. You can see all three versions of her. Now to the abilities of Sona, Maven of the Strings. So before we start off with her Q, W, and her E, and her ultimate, we're going to go to her passive, known as her Power Chord. After casting 3 spells, Sona's next attack deals bonus magic damage in addition to the bonus effect, depending on what song last activated. So depending on what song last activated, after using any of her abilities other than her ultimate, Power Chord passive activates. So depending on what ability she has, I'll actually tell you which one does what. So we're gonna go to her Q. Time of Valor. Sona plays the Time of Valor, sends out bolts of sound, dealing magic damage to 2 nearby enemies, prioritizing champions and monsters. Sona gains a temporary aura that grants allies tagged by the zone bonus damage on their next attack against enemies. So Hymn of Valor is basically, as soon as you press it, you have these two song we'll go to the thing. You'll see 2 charges like that go to the enemies if they're near. Otherwise, it'll just go to one enemy that's near her. But bolts will always go either to the minions or to enemies, depending on who's closer. It will prioritize champions if the champions are near, even though minions are there. But if no champions are there, it'll hit the minions instead. Now, with if Hymn of Valor is with the passive known as her Power Chord, what it does is it boosts your allies' damage on their next attack. So yeah, it'll boost your allies' damage on the next attack, and including your next attack. And what I mean attack is, I mean their auto attack. So it boosts their attack. It boosts their damage where it's physical or true damage or magic damage. We're gonna go to her next ability, her W, Aria of Perseverance. Sona plays the Aria of Perseverance, setting up protective melodies, healing Sona and nearby wounded ally. Sona gains a temporary aura that grants allies tagged by the zone a temporary shield. Now, when combined with the Power Chord passive, when hitting the ally with the Power Chord when hitting the enemy with a Power Chord passive, when it's W, it will reduce the enemy target's attack damage by 25%. Now, this is very important, especially when you're trying to trade and land on the bot lane, or if you're trying to trade in the mid lane. This actually helps if used properly. I've used it properly a couple times. This is actually the only ability on Sona that I have not mastered yet, and I'm still trying to learn this ability quite well. I've mastered every single combo and ability on Sona except her W. Her W, even though it's the most important, when I haven't mastered her W with the Power Chord yet. You don't really get to use it as much, so that's why it's a little bit harder to learn. Her Q, her E, and her R are actually the most ones that you use. There's no special ability with her ultimate with Power Chord passive, but there is for her Q, W, and her E. For her Q, again, does damage for the next basic attack of the champion, or next attack in general for the champion if they're within her circle. W, it gives your allies shield, including yourself, and reduces the target's attack damage by 25%. Which means if you hit the enemy with your W as a basic attack with Power Chord activated and available, it'll reduce their attack by 25%. We're gonna continue on to her E. Her E is Song of Celerity. Sona plays the Song of Celerity, granting nearby allies bonus movement speed. Sona gains a temporary aura that grants ally champions tagged by the zone bonus movement speed on their next attack. So, when Songs of Celerity is combined with the Power Chord passive that Sona has, it will reduce the movement speed of the enemy champion, meaning it'll slow them. That's basically all this does. It'll slow the enemy champion by a certain amount for a few seconds. I'm so sorry, for a few seconds. So now that we know the Power Chord ability when combining her Q, W, and her E, depending on which one she has, when her power chord ability is available. Hope no one's texting me. When her power chord, yeah, sorry about that. When her power chord when her power chord passive is available, depending on which ability she activates next or attacks with next, as her basic attack is dependent on what ability she has. So, with that being said, we're gonna move on to her R, known as Crescendo. One of Sona's best abilities that she has. Crescendo is such a strong ultimate in team fights, especially when it comes to crowd control. This is your best friend. It's the fucking peanut butter to your jelly sandwich. It really is. The jelly being, your entire team, and the peanut butter being you, with Crescendo and crowd controlling them for a few seconds, for like a second or two. It's one of the strongest abilities in the game for Sona. Although she is a squishy champion, this is one of the strongest abilities in the game, in my opinion. Sona plays her ultimate chord, stunning enemy champions and forcing them to dance and deal magic damage to them. Each rank reduces the base cooldown of Sona's abilities. It reduces her abilities by 40%. 40%. If once you learn how to use her ultimate and make her cooldown really high, using this and then having to activate the next ability is just amazing. It's really amazing. I'm so sorry. It's a bit tired. It's 2:30 p.m. right now, and I'm like falling asleep here and there. Oh. What happened? I'm not sure what happened. We're gonna try to reconnect. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what happened. We're gonna exit the client real quick. If you guys want this background picture, I know this background picture is actually quite hard to get because it's literally right before the client says, username and password. I was lucky enough that because my computer is a certain type of slow, I was able to actually get this picture background of the loading, of it loading. So if you guys want this background picture, I'll put it in like a description below. Of where you could get it. Maybe you could actually find it on Google or not, but I'll find a way for you guys could actually download this file, and so that way you guys could have it. Or if you guys want me to send it to you privately, so that only a few people have it, let me know. I'll email it to you, or I'll send it to you some way. But I could definitely give you guys this background picture because I know this picture is quite hard to get. I'm not exactly sure why the client is not loading. I hope it didn't go on another update. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there you go. So that background, see, it just how it went like that. So I took out the animation so that way it's easier for me to log back into the client. I do apologize for that brief maintenance issue that we just had. I believe the client is having some current maintenance issues right now, and that we would be disrupted a little bit for all players because I believe it's going to be going into the update for the ranked system. Unable to connect to the login queue. Check the server status here. We're actually going to go ahead and do that now. Enjoy the music. We're actually going to go ahead and check the servers right now. This site can't be reached. Let me see. Oh, there we go. It says the game is okay. So we should be able to log back in. That's actually very odd. The servers are okay. Okay, maybe it was just an issue before. Actually, we're actually gonna go ahead and just come back to this screen. I do apologize again for the minor maintenance issue that we just had. We are back with the client now. There probably was like a mini update and it kind of interfered with the connection. We are back though. Everything is okay. We're actually gonna go back to Sona real quick to just look at her ultimate ability again. Crescendo. So like I was saying before, I believe it reduces it by 40% for your cooldowns for her ultimate Crescendo, which is actually really really good, but it also depends on what level your ultimate is for Crescendo. So now that we've reviewed all of her abilities, we're just gonna review it one more time because we did have that client issue. Power chord on every after casting 3 spells, which is your Q, W, or E, or constantly your other abilities, you get a special ability for your basic attack depending on which ability you had to use. If the last ability you use is Heim of Valor, it'll boost the damage of you or your ally and your ally if of you and your allies' next attack, whether it's ability power or attack damage, physical, or true damage. Area of Perseverance, it gives you and your allies a shield, and with the Power Chord passive, it will reduce the enemy's attack damage by 25%. For E, Song of Celerity, with the Power Chord passive, I'm sorry, without the Power Chord passive, it gives you and your allies movement speed bonus. With the power chord ability, it can slow the enemy target by 25%. Crescendo being a crowd control ultimate, there's nothing special with it for the power chord passive, but it does stun your enemies for about maybe a second and a half to 2 seconds, depending on the rank of the ability, and reduces your abilities by, if I'm right, it should be 40%, but we'll see it in game. So now we're back at that. We're going to go into the runes. And there's 4 sets of rune pages that I use for AP. And I'm going to show you. So we got marks, seals, glyphs, and quintessences. So the first of the easiest is AP basic scaling. Sorry about that. Okay, my pet's sleeping. So AP basic scaling is the basic ability power rune page. I just made a few edits. Instead of using regular magic resist and armor seal and glyph runes, I put armor and magic resist scaling runes up to level 18. As well as that, you have the regular magic penetration of plus 7.8 and the regular ability power of 14.9. The only difference is the armor and the magic resist. Instead of just regular armor runes and magic resist runes, I put armor scaling runes and magic resist scaling runes, which helps because it gives you more armor in the long run during the match, and it helps you scale better with your champion. So now we have this is the AP scaling rune, and I use this if not. When I play Sona, I play with my AP aggressive rune page. This is plus 14.9 ability power, the regular 7.8 magic penetration, and instead of armor, I put plus 8 health, which gives me plus 72 health. I believe every time I level up. I could be wrong. It's just otherwise it's just plus 72 health in general. Then I have the I have 4 mana regeneration scalings, and I have 5 magic resist scaling magic resist. This is to try to keep me in balance. 50 magic resist at level 18 is actually still good. Usually you only get about maybe 15, if I'm right. On regular rune page, I'm not quite sure. I believe it's just 15. So 14. I'm sorry. It's usually just 14. But this makes us extremely squishy to damage dealers like ADCs or anybody doing physical damage. The way to reverse this, I usually go GA or I'll get Zonius. This is like the rune page where I go aggressive. I don't usually get the support item. I just go complete mid lane aggressive as a support role. Otherwise, I usually go with the support items for this rune page also. But this is the rune page I usually use when I go into ranked. I suggest having this rune page. It's up to you. You could keep this or remove this as you want. You could take out the health and put the armor scaling it back if you like. It's completely up to you. But this is the rune page that I usually use. We're gonna go on to the AP scaling tank. Now, this has no magic penetration as it's mostly for ability power tank champions, such as Karma or who else? There's a lot of AP tank champs, Karma and some other champs. I can't really tell you on the top of my head. you have 20.2 ability power at the beginning of the game, and then you have scaling armor and scaling magic resist up to plus 27 at level 18. I use this page not so often, but I have it here just in case. And the following one is 80 and AP scaling, scaling tank. 14.9 ability power with scaling armor and scaling magic resist at 27 at level 18. And then I have plus 8.5 physical damage for the attack. Now, you can change this. You can reduce the ability power, maybe put an attack damage to have like maybe the ability power and attack damage even out. It's honestly up to you. If for the and that's basically it. I usually use the AP aggressive and AP scaling. Sometimes I use the AP tank. If you got for those of you wondering what burst mode is, I'll get into that in another video sometime down the road when I've perfected the actual build. And that build is for Lucian. I've done it before, but because I deleted the room page on accident a long time ago, I've never been able to actually get it back. But that's what I have here. So we're actually going to go ahead and go into the masteries. And oh, I'm already on it. Cool. So I have 18 in cunning and 12 in resolve. I have 5 points for Wanderer plus 3% move speed out of combat, which helps Sona. I have 1 point on Secret Stash. Your potions and your elixirs last 10% longer, and this is especially important when you're getting the corruption potion during your matches. You're not gonna get regular potions to get biscuits. No, that's what's wrong. You have to get the refillable potion because you want to make sure that you could sustain and lane a little bit, and make sure you outpoke the enemy. But make sure you're not pushing too much and going past the river and staying past the river, because that's how you get caught out by the jungler. So this refillable potion helps you sustain more in lane and stay in lane more longer. So that way you and your ADC can push the lane while they're trying to recall back. And that gives you time to recall and then return to lane. And by the time you return, they're starting to get at your tower now, which helps. Then I have 5 points in meditation. Regenerate 1.25% of your missing mana every 5 seconds. And I will say this now, Sona is mana heavy on her W when she heals, so this is especially important. Only heal when necessary. Do not constantly use the ability, because that's how you lose your lane as Sona, and then you're unable to help your ADC. Use it when it's the right time. So if your ADC started to get low, that's when you start using your W. Otherwise, let him use his potions. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little congested, so you're just gonna have to give me a moment. Oh, sorry about that. I have 1 point in Bandit. You gain 1 gold for each nearby enemy minion killed by an ally, but you also get 3 gold when hitting an enemy champion with a basic attack, and it's especially important because you can poke the enemy's champions with your Q, and Spell Thieves also helps with this because I believe it gives you more money as well. This helps you sometimes stay even above the ADC when they miss their CS. Sometimes you're ahead of the ADC as well in money. Then you have 5 points of precision, gain 6 lethality, and 1.5 plus 0.25 per level magic penetration. And this is also important because you want to make sure you're poking. Now, one of the most important masteries on Sona, and I can't stress this enough because I've seen so many Sona players going mid and support with like Thunderlords, and then switching, and they have Deathfire Touch. I'm like, no, they're using the wrong master, and then they end up losing and complaining that their ADC fed when it's really they have the wrong masteries to support their ADC. When Speaker's Blessing is by far the only mastery you should have on Sona. Nothing else. No Deathfire Touch, no Thunderlords, nothing. Wind Speaker's Blessing should be the only master you have on Sona, even in the mid lane. Okay? Your job is to support your team as Sona. Sona is mainly a support. You can go mid with her. You can do damage with her. But you won't win that lane as Sona unless you get help from like your jungler. You will not win lane with Sona mid unless you have a help from your jungler, or you have a top laner that's doing so well that he's roaming into your lane and helping you as well. Okay? Wind Speaker's Blessing. Okay, this is what makes Sona so overpowered without people knowing. Your heals and shields are 10% stronger. Additionally, your shields and heals on other allies increase their armor by 5 to 22, by 5 or 22, based on level, and their magic resistance by half. that amount for 3 seconds. This is extremely important, okay? Because this is what makes Sona so overpowered, okay? Because this combos with the runic armor that you have in Resolve, where shields, healing, regeneration, and lifesteal on you are 8% stronger. The healing, regeneration, and shield on you is what's important, because that means your mana restores faster, your health regains faster, okay? Your regeneration, that's what that is. Your healing is a lot faster. Okay, this is runic armor is extremely important to have as well on Sona with Windspeaker's Blessing comboed with the items that you'll be getting during the game as well. For Resolve, you have Unyielding plus 5% bonus armor and magic resist. Because she is squishy, you want to make sure you can at least sustain a lane for a little while. Siege Master, gain 8 armor and magic resist when near an allied tower, so you are more powerful when you're at your tower. And then of course I already explained runic armor. You have, and then the last one is Fearless. Gain 10% plus 1.5 per level bonus armor and magic resist when damaged by an enemy champion for 2 seconds, and this is a 9-second cooldown. This helps as well. Okay, this makes you temporarily tanky when you're hit by a enemy champion. So when you get poked, you become buffed basically for a temporary only a few seconds. But this is the mastery page that I use in Sona. It's the only mastery page I use on Sona. We're actually gonna go to the spells, and there's gonna be only some that I'm going to recommend. So in the support lane, you usually bring Flash, as represented here, or you bring Exhaust. And you bring Exhaust. You bring both of these spells, okay? Now, some mid laners like to go Flash, as represented here, or they like to go they like to go Ignite if they're playing Sona mid lane. If you ever see a Sona mid lane, take full advantage of her squishiness and just kill her, because if she gets fed and no one's taking her out fast enough, your team's gonna end up losing. More than likely is gonna end up losing, because she's gonna become so fast where she's gonna be able to keep up with all of her spells and continuously spam them. Okay. In ranked, I like to go Flash, again, as represented here. And I like to take Barrier, okay? And this is because of the combo with Windspeaker's Blessing and Runic Armor, making your shields and healing a shitload more stronger. Especially if you are a support, supporting your ADC in the bot lane. Right when their ADC is low and your ADC is low, right? And you know your ADC could kill them, and they're targeting you instead. Pop the barrier and pop your W if it's available after cooldown, and heal yourself and get the barrier and focus the damage onto the ADC. I guarantee you your ADC will fucking love you for it, because that means you outplayed their ADC, and now they're expecting you to they're gonna be trying to pop your barrier and keep you low and just poke you out. But that means that your ADC is now 1 kill ahead of them, which is better for you, because now you could poke them out towards turret. But make sure you get a control ward, make sure you're warding everywhere. Now there is we're going to be going to the items right now for it. But for me, I like to bring Flash and Barrier. I don't bring Exhaust with Sona anymore, because it doesn't really help me out. You have a slow already with your power chord passive with your E, so Exhaust should not be needed. I understand that it debuffs the champion who's it used on, but if your champion's low already, they're gonna flash out anyway, and I would rather save a summoner spell for my benefit to keep myself alive and help out my ADC. So I don't know if you guys see it that way, but that's how I see it. So yeah, that's why I don't like to bring Exhaust that much anymore as a support. Especially if I'm playing as Sona, that's like a summoner. They could literally just flash back at tower, unless they're so pushed to your tower and they get super caught out. That's the only time usually that it works. But that's why I don't like to bring Exhaust anymore. I like to bring Barrier as Sona. We're going to be continuing on into the items. So we have Sona here. Now I need to make a little edit to this item page. I gotta get rid of this. So actually, no, realize I could add right here actually. I'll get rid of this Ash items page. Delete this block. Yes. Let me see. Not exactly sure why. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to, there we go. Spell thief. There we go. Now we have options. We're gonna add this here. Oh shit, do we have to add that? Yeah, we could add it there. Okay. There's no vision ward. It's actually a control ward now. We're actually gonna go ahead and do this real quick. There should be a control ward. I don't know why it's not here. There we go. Now, as you can see, these are, I gotta look for gargoyle stone plate as well. These are all like situational items. Let me see. It's late game essential. Let's put that there. I like to add these items just for now, depending on the situation I'm currently in. So we're actually gonna save this. So what you're gonna want to get, no matter what, is Spell Thief's Edge, and then you could either get the Fiery Charm with it, so that we have more mana regeneration, or you could go Spell Thief's Edge and get the refillable potion. I suggest refillable potion with Spell Thief's Edge, and then later on you get the control ward, which I'm actually going to be putting here for the first recall. And you can either get into the Frostfang or get into the Corruption Potion. And if you have enough, get a control ward. I would stress it enough to actually get the control ward first. And depending on your matchup, you can either go into the Frost Queen's Claim or the Eye of the Watchers. And that's why I have both the Fiendish Codex here and the Sightstone. The current combo to go into this is your support item first, into the Ionian Boots, which I should actually be, there's another combo to this, boots. There's another combo to this. Again, I apologize. I know I shouldn't be doing this, right away here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm actually going to be trying to put this here. There we go. I'll put that there instead. Sorry about that, guys. I had to do the edit because I said I will be editing. Now, okay. Now here's your starting items. Okay. This is, you're gonna start with the spell TCF, like I said before, and then you get the refillable potion. You can get into the boots next, control ward, and you could go into this downright path. Okay. Now you can either go Sorcerer's Boots or Ionian Boots of Lucidity for cooldown, for early cooldown reduction if you're really being fed. Immediately go into Athena's Unholy Grail because it gives you plus 20% cooldown reduction and mana regen immediately, and that's a lot of mana regen right there. Then you're gonna want to go into either Lichbane or Azonius. I suggest going into Lichbane. Once you have Lichbane, you could go into any of these three items, either Rod of Ages, Gargoyles, Stone Plate, or Zonius Hourglass. And then, I would suggest getting Guardian's Angel, just because it could keep you alive. It'll give you attack damage, yes, but a Guardian's Angel is still good on Sona, because that means that they have to target you in order to pop it. So that means that now you become a threat to them. So by making yourself a threat to them, that means they're not focusing on your tanks because they're not thinking properly. And I like to throw them off like that. So I suggest getting Guardian's Angels as like a late game item. But again, it is completely up to you guys as to what you guys want to do. And then of course these are all situational. Again, Guardian's Angel situational, but I'm actually gonna put that here for essential. These are all situational items here, guys. Only just for tankiness, but these are the items I like to use, guys. And I suggest to go into the combo that I like to that I told you guys about. Now, this was the introduction of this is my champion spotlight, I guess you could say, of Sona, the Maven of the Strings. I will be playing the game right after this, using Sona and showing you how I play her, as a champion, and what to expect when playing her as a champion. So, thank you guys for watching my League of Legends Champions Spotlight featuring Sona, Maven of the Strings. I can't really show how to use her in the practice tool because you have to actually have an enemy champion being used against it. So I'm actually, instead of going into practice tool, I will be going into a live game in normals or in rank, depending on, depending on which I think would be better. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next video, with me playing as Sona. But thank you guys for watching my champion spotlight of my main as a support player, Sona, Maven of the Strings. It's going to be Friday tomorrow. I will not be going to my drill due to my injury of my foot, of breaking my foot. So I'll be here this weekend and hopefully be recording some videos if my wife lets me, because I know she wants my attention. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.